Ladies and gentlemen, episode 17, back. I'm ruthlessly wearing a sponsor's t-shirt. Look at that, box smart.
Love it.
Boom.
I'm still repping Loma.
Black Loma though, isn't it? Because let's be honest. I mean, it's just very stressful. It's incredibly stressful. And yeah, I had to listen to a couple of meditations after Saturday on YouTube. Shout out to Kenneth Suarez, Power Thoughts Meditation Club, YouTube. Boom. Probably the most terrifying man you've ever seen that's telling you very guided things. He looks like a serial killer, but he looks like before he kills them. You know what he looks like? He looks like a serial sex offender, but he looks like he burns their eyes with acid, so he's the last thing that they forever see. That's how terrifying he is. He's like a hawkish, hippie, white dude with dreadlocks and beads.
You're selling him well, mate, so I'm going to get...
Power Thoughts Meditation Club. Huge, right? And he has that classic meditation voice. But anyway,
you know
it's been a large weekend, isn't it?
Very eventful.
Yeah. It looks like you've got a little bit of a tash going on. Is that intentional, or is that just like it's just come through?
You know what? It's like I hate having to do this, and basically it's sheer laziness. I lost the top of my shaver that allows me to trim, so then it's all or nothing. You know, it's like I grow it until it's fucking like in my mouth, and I'm like, all right, and then I need to start again. So
you're giving it the Don Fry / Tom Selleck. Amazing.
I'm going to do the swizzle at the end one day, you know.
Oh, the beeswax. There's an absolute jar who works in the place that I work at, and he has that. It's just like you look at him and you just think, mate.
The only person I've seen rocking that is that Tom show from the Bare Knuckle that looks exactly like our logo. I'm like, yes, mate.
You can do it. If you're some sort of creative who's got his top button done up, I don't want to know. Right? I don't want to know. Full disclosure, I didn't watch any of the UFC. So
that's right, I gotcha.
Why don't we, to appease the cage crew,
start with that?
Yeah. I will say this. I did see that Ortega shaved off his head.
Yeah.
And like, that's a beautiful man with long hair. I don't know what he's done that for.
It was a charity. Donated it, and yeah.
Heart of gold, Anita boy.
Such a stud, mate.
He's so golden.
I fucking love Ortega, and it was. Did you see the fight as well, or just the right?
I saw how it ended because it was a little bit Instagram viral, weren't it?
It's like he'd taken time away, and it was just so like he was so composed because Korean Zombie is a savage, and been looking forward to that fight for time. You know, it's good that finally happened. Ortega was so composed. His striking was off the chain, creative as hell. First round, he like caught a kick, and there was a beautiful straight. Round two, Korean Zombie got this wicked uppercut on him. Ortega dropped him with a spinning elbow. It was like he came in, spun around, but it was lush.
Nice.
Last round, he went for like the single leg. Well, it looked like he was going to do it, but he just scooped him into range and cracked him. It was amazing. So, awesome performance from Ortega. And an interesting thing happened. So that fight was sick. Korean Zombie, I love him as well. So that was a great fight. But
the UFC actually have Zombie in the HUD at the bottom. They don't even bother with like
it's so cool,
Dong
right?
Jong Yung Gung, whatever his name is.
Yeah, man. Apparently he asked for that too. He's like, you know what, just fucking leave. You're not going to say it right. Like, just. But yeah, so it was. All right, fuck. Here we go. So Mateusz gamrot and guram. I was practicing this before we came on too, and I'm going to totally fuck it. Kutateladze. Oh man. All right.
Sounds legit.
Kutateladze. Like when they were saying it was like kutateladze, and I was like, that can't be right. And it's like ladze. Anyway, I'm going to say kutateladze because it's easier. I've never seen.
Question for the class. Yes or yes? Is that exactly what you would expect an African coffee to sound like? Kutateladze.
I'll have two. You know, yeah. standard.
Boom.
That's going to be beanbag. Make it happen. Getting the sponsors in early. Right. So I've never seen, I don't know if you've seen it on Insta. I've never seen someone so bummed to have won a fight. Like,
really? What,
you
like
know,
more than Jaeger Musashi? Like more than him?
Bro, he was legit like, this is number one bullshit. Like, actually said that this was not my fight. Like, he was like, you know, when a robbery happens.
Was he the dude with the beard?
Yeah. But then had to, he lost a bet and he had to shave his mobit off. So he just has the beard.
Yeah.
So,
but like, he is one of the most
Chimaev. He lost the bet to Chimaev,
Yeah, no. But like, he is, if you said to me, tell me exactly what someone from the Stans looks like.
that guy.
Geezer, isn't it? It's him,
with the shoulders, with the veins like popping across.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it really depends how you watch a fight. Because Gamrot was nailing the takedowns. So he did get a lot of takedowns. And that's where kutateladze was coming from. He was, I'm going to go with guram, actually. He was like, look, how many times did he take me down? This was his night. It wasn't my night. I mean, proper like going in on himself. I had him winning, like because his striking, he got the better of the striking. And obviously MMA is so wide. Like, what are they, how are they scoring? Are they more strike friendly, takedown friendly? Well, when he got taken down as well too, like it wasn't like he had a lot of damage inflicted on him. He did a pretty good job getting out. He was reversing a little bit. He was going for his own subs. So it wasn't like he was just getting like ground and pounded down there. So, I mean, I gave him the fight watching it, but he was proper not having it. But yeah, anyway, that was Gamrot's first loss. He's 17-1 now. Kutateladze, that's fun as hell to say, I'm going to be fair. He's 12-2. But yeah, it was just madness to see in a fight that there's been so many robberies lately and they're just stum. Whereas this one, I thought, you took that, mate. He was like, fucking didn't want any of it, but respect. Then there was Aussie Jimmy Crute, who is quoted by Sam Greco, who I've reached out to. That would be sick to get him on because he was an Aussie fucking legend against Modestas Bukauskas, something like that. You know, forgive my pronunciation, guys, if you listen. So Crute is the man. Like, he's Aussie. He got paid, I think, £88,000. Lives in a van. He's like, fucking hate paying rent and bills. So he just lives in a van. He's decked it out himself. It's got running water, solar panels, all sorts of shit. Pro athlete, just lives in a van. So
I kind of respect that, you know.
Yeah, man, for sure. Like, it'd be better if he like drove to all the venues too, you know,
like cowboy style.
Yeah.
I don't think you can get away with that when you're married with kids, though.
Yeah, true.
I think that's slash. How dare we judge his life choices? Partnered.
There you go.
Yeah.
We'll leave it open.
Yeah, you've conjoined your being with another entity. There we go.
However they choose to define themselves.
Hi.
So yeah, I mean, that is the one that probably you saw. It was just a soul-taking shot, like smashed his head down. Because gets up, eats another shot, and like ultimate respect as soon as he's like, because he took his soul. And then just sat down next to him before he celebrated, just sat down next to him on the corner of the cage. But then they opened the cage door and he kind of like fell back. He's like, oh. But it was awesome. Awesome performance. Big fucking knockout, like epic. That's if you ever run out of the boxing and have to move into the realms of MMA, that'll definitely be a Corona versus my income.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, I fully intended on watching UFC. Like we even have moved these recaps to Monday instead of Sunday. In
which is good, so you get the extra time to
exactly in double events, but it just wasn't to be.
I mean, I had to bail for this because it was the missus' birthday, and I was just like in between.
Right? We had our 5-year anniversary, 5-year married. What?
Yes, congrats,
lucky Sarah. Anyway.
I love the post. At least 5 more. You know?
Yeah, at least 5 more. At least 5 more years. Hey, babe. Yeah, at least 5 more. Yeah. Passag smile. Boom.
Yeah, and the last one I saw was Katlyn Chookagian against Jessica Andrade. who was former champ, fought everybody. She's a savage. Rose, Joanna, you name it. Jayling, Zheng Weili, sorry.
Yeah, man. Cool names. Cool names.
Yeah, she's fucking strong, man.
Yeah.
Strong as hell. Picked her up, slammed her, dirty body shot that kind of turned her around, made her, did a whole turn away, and then the ref just stopped the fight. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. That is the UFC wrapped up in a little bundle.
There we go. That's going to make a couple of people quite happy that got blitzed out. But obviously next week is an actual UFC that I will watch because I care about that one. I like an awful lot that Chandler is in Abu Dhabi. He is as if he is fighting for a title. He's doing it like it's as much as I want to see Khabib Gaethje. Literally don't care if one of them gets pulled out because I'll watch Gaethje and Chandler, Khabib and Chandler, Khabib and Gaethje. Like I'll watch all of them.
Yeah,
like, it's a genius move. Like shout out. That's a powerful move. And like how much can that in those big fights in this era? Like how much can that possibly cost something like the UFC? If it costs them $1 million to have a world class challenger on tap, ready to go. It's a small price to pay because they're going to make that
for sure. I was going to say as well too in this COVID times. Imagine someone pops you're out, and then I'm in.
I mean, even if they do him like 400 grand flat, and then like pay-per-view points or something, like there's no down to it whatsoever.
Yeah, there should be more of like the backups because up until the last minute, shit happens.
I think that the problem is that there's got to be some sort of pride element, like. Don't consider me. But if you're back up for a title fight,
if it's a title, I think
you're also not able to be available for other stuff as well.
Yeah,
right?
100%. Oh yeah, you need a fight booked like slightly after that, so that you're not wasting. You don't want to be teetering around the weight for no reason. You don't want to be going through camp for no reason. But if like they could schedule it so like let's say there's a title fight, and then the week after there's like that person can be like a crossover because how many fights have happened? There's been the last minute injury, inability to make weight, fucking now with COVID.
Yeah. I mean, like Chandler is a 100% boyfriend for me. I was watching a Q&A with him on Instagram live and he was like, basically, I wanted to have Ferguson. He said no. I wanted to have someone else and he said no. And it was just like, and then Dana was like, do you want to go Abu Dhabi and be back up? He's like, yeah, fine.
That's what you want, man. That's what you want. Someone down to ride.
Yeah. Animal. Anyway, should we start with... Let's start with Ellie, because it was her debut, wasn't it? And she's coming on the show. Shout out. Ellie Scoutney. What a bad bitch.
Right?
She fucked that girl up. Like she is very, very fun to watch.
Yep. Someone to watch for sure.
Spiteful. Hurtful shots, beautiful. Like she couldn't miss with her left hook, could she?
Yeah,
she couldn't. She like that. Connley done well to get out of that. Like it didn't look great. And how often do you ever see like the most classic 3-piece of all time? Jab, straight hook, all go douche, 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 and then they go down like a sack. Like it's rare. Sensational debut. Like really, really good debut.
You really like first time out. You can't ask for much more than that. You know what I mean? You put people on notice. Everyone's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I think the fact that Booth was in her corner for the debut is a big thing because normally he sends the assistants out because they've got so many under the Booth banner now, haven't they? Like I think that says an awful lot about her.
Speaks volumes for what they've got planned for her and things like that.
Well, should we? I mean, because there was only really one other. I mean, let's do Ritson and Vasquez because that was on the same card, right? Let's be deeply honest. I mean, there was memes of a judge sitting there on his phone, right?
And the worst thing is, like, the meme is just what they wrote. That picture is not Photoshop. That's legit. This motherfucker is ringside.
Yeah, he's literally sitting on his phone.
Like, and he's dropping a deuce, just like,
Yeah, just like, right? He's meant to be judging the fight. And we know what's got, like, I don't understand how they had Ritson winning, right? He did nothing. He probably landed the cleaner shots, but he was getting outlanded 4-1, 5-1. At no point did he look like he had Vasquez in trouble. At no point did it look like he was controlling the fight. At no point, like I don't. That's one of the worst calls I've ever seen. And even the one judge that had it for him, 116, 113, it's a bit close considering what it was. Let alone the other two that had it against him. It's outrageous.
Yeah, it was what 117, 111 was the judge Terry O'Connor that wasn't even watching.
Yeah.
Which I think kind of speaks for. Also, too, like I am interested. I was speaking to JK, shout out, because he listens to all our episode. Thank you, bro. We listened to him, and he was listening to the Sky commentary, and he said there were a lot more seeing it how we saw it. But the commentary that I heard was the whole way through. They were just like
the DAZN one, I guess.
Yeah,
and they were just like, I can't see how Vasquez thinks that he's winning this. Ritson's
got it. It's just by how much, and
it sounded like they had the wrong names. It sounded like the opposite names.
And like the whole way through, they were kind of talking like, well, he's clearly got it, but it's not that good a performance. Like he should do more against someone. Listen, Vasquez, he's fought Canelo twice, and he's gone the distance twice. It was his debut against Canelo the first time, so that was only a 4-rounder. But then he fought him again later. He's been in there with quality. And Ritson was just pot shot. And I don't want to talk shit on him because also it's not their fault how the judges see it. But you've got a guy with a granite chin, and you're going for like just one shot. Also, you're trying to keep him at bay with a jab when he was losing that battle. He didn't adapt at all. It was like there was no game plan. Like from round one to final round, there were no adaptations made. Nothing. They changed nothing. Yeah. And Vasquez, he was getting good for it because I think he was feeling like, fuck, if that's what you're going to tag me with, I'm going to stay. Because it was just like, those nice little flurry combos he started throwing going down to the body.
Well, this was it, right? Ritson would land one partial shot, but then get 4 back. And yes, 2 or 3 of those probably was on the gloves and the arms. But it's in a fight where nothing is really happening, you have to surely score work rate. You have to score the actual tone of the fight. Because, like I said, Ritson wasn't cutting him off. He wasn't having him under pressure. He was legitimately following him around the ring. Everywhere Vasquez went, he just followed him. He wasn't doing anything to, like, he wasn't effectively pressuring. It was a bad performance, and it was a horrific decision. Like that.
I mean, even Eddie said he didn't get it. Bellew said he didn't get it. Like,
I mean, for the judge who's sitting there on his mobile, right? I mean, number one, who's he talking to? Number two, they need to check that phone. No, I mean that from a guy. True. Because he can be fucking texting someone saying, "I've got this 117, 111. I know we're only in round 4. Bothered."
That's 100% true. Yeah.
So because
if it's not that, I'm sure his wife wants to know anyway. Because
exactly, like this is one.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah, who are you talking to? So if you are maybe manipulating. I mean, for all I know, he's sitting there fucking punting on Betfair, right? Like he could literally just be sitting there doing anything.
That's true. That's true.
Absolutely knows. But it was abysmal. They need to look into that, and he needs to. You know what he needs? He needs to sit down with Teddy Atlas because I would.
Mate.
Can we start a GoFundMe to have Teddy meets what's his name, Jim?
Just chew him the fuck out.
Yeah, just sitting there, just like even just a FaceTime. Or we could deceive it as a cameo, and then it ain't a cameo.
That would be sick. All right, let's make that happen, man. That would be all Christmases at once. Fucking hell.
I would just want to see his face drop because Teddy wouldn't take that nicely.
I want a reading of his blood pressure while he's talking.
But yeah, like what could he have possibly been up to? Let alone what should he have been up to? And again, I don't understand how 2 judges see it that way. Again, you almost want them, again, in the Atlas style. You want them with the board, with the fight on screen, with no commentary. At the end of each round, what did you see? Why did you see it? Why have you scored it like this?
I love when Atlas went in, like a few times, obviously, but literally saying they clearly don't even understand the rule. Like what they're judging on is not correct. And he just takes them to school. It's like they shouldn't be sitting down if they don't know the rules. Like, it's fucking...
I mean, it's just very simple. Like, it's very simple. We had it a few weeks ago when, like, Tony Weeks knew the rule and had to tell the commissioner.
That was brilliant, but sad that it had to come to that. But he handled that like a boss.
Yeah, but again, it shouldn't be that way. You got people that, I mean, it's a pretty fucking dangerous sport.
For sure.
If the people governing it and the people that are there to protect you for it don't know the actual rules, and you're getting skanked on decisions like that, like that's a liberty.
I mean, Vasquez took it really well. It's like, I think he kind of thought, you know, look, they're bringing me over here. But then once he was in the fight, he's like, I can fucking take this. Yeah. But when they announced it, like, yeah, it's me. And then they said the other, and then you could see he's like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm getting.
But he did great.
Yeah, I mean, he won the fight. He won the fight, and unfortunately for like Ritson, this doesn't do anything for his PR.
It doesn't push him along at all. And I was saying, like, you know, this was kind of the time to see if he can step up. And the answer, like, and even he was like, no, like, there's no point in me calling the big guys out. I need to stay at this level for a while. So it's a bit of a shame, all round, really. But
stateside, my brother, where do you want to start?
Well, seeing as we're talking about judging, should we do the Alex Saucedo and Arnold Barboza Jr. fight? Because, first of all, what a fucking fight.
Great fight.
Epic. Wow. And for the first time, they used that instant replay function. So
again, question for the class: could they not have got anything better than the thing that goes on top of a fucking highway maintenance van? Right? How are you going to have a magnetic yellow light that just goes like that, and it's like, oh, now this is the glitz and glamour of Vegas, is it? Hey, do anything
and
else.
On the commentary team, they kept attracting attention. How good is this that we've got when this light is going?
God, that was proper sore, weren't it? Nice to see Joe Cortez has still got a job, though, isn't it?
Yeah, right. And with Mayweather retiring, I thought he'd be on some islands just chilling, enjoying the cash.
The last time I saw him is McGregor was using him, weren't he, as ref for sparring?
Yeah.
What's he been up to? But yeah, that was a nice thing. Like, they've done the instant replay before, but they didn't do it with the very visible light that I'm going to put down. Fine, cool. It was a clear knockdown, and it's really good that they can do that and go back. It was a wicked fight, though, weren't it?
Mate, really. So fucking now, like, I've got to be careful with my words now, because I totally see what Russ means. It's like, how often do you go to like a collar fight and that was a good fight, and then you're like, I guess it's an entertaining fight, right? But this was a good fight. They were a good fight, and they were a great match for each other.
Yeah.
It was a good fight and an entertaining fight. That's what I'm going to say. So
why do you think Barboza come out in southpaw? First couple of rounds, like, it didn't go well.
It didn't, but then he was doing it later on the fight, and it did. And he does that a bit, like, he just kind of does that. And like, I feel like he's got some crack in both those hands. So it wasn't the most seamless transition, and he was getting tagged. So to stick with it, like, it worked better for him in the middle of the fight. Starting with it was probably not the option. That was like the whole Hagler thing, looking back, like, fuck. But I mean, it didn't matter for this one in the end. But that's just kind of his style. But Jesus Christ, I was really impressed with that. Like, his performance was sick. He can take a punch, can give a punch, and he works at every range. Out at long range, he was great. That mid range, in toe to toe, the whole thing. And fucking hell, he threw, I think, in the 6th round, he was over 600. I think by the end of the fight, he must have been well over 800 punches. And he's still up on his toes. Like, that is some gas tank.
Yeah, he looked wicked. And his punch placement was the thing. He was so sharp. Like, every time the shot landed, I mean, if they were like big concussive, I mean, they didn't look fun. But if they were big, like, stunning concussing blows, that would be a very different fight. But you could see that those shots were they were well placed. They were sharp. They were technically perfect. Like, they were just
the hooks. It was cracking the straight. There was one jab in there. I was like, Jesus Christ! It was like at the end of a combo, proper snap the head back. Wicked fight.
And Barboza moves on.
Yeah. Then, should we do Edgar Berlanga?
Yes, because he's a terrifying super middleweight.
Right? Like, so Linnell Bellows, like I wrote it, like, so when I was training at Mayweather's, he was hitting the pads and they sounded like they were getting shot with a shotgun. Like that dude can bang, right?
Yeah, he looked like he had a crack on him.
Berlanga blew him out, like 15-0, 15 knockouts, and we're going into Valero territory. Not even 15 KOs, 15 first-round KOs. So every time he's been in the ring as a professional, hasn't made it to the second round. He is huge. He jumped up on the ropes at the end saying, I'm a fucking monster. And goddamn right you are. Like, he's
average
huge.
fight time, 1 minute 35 seconds. Done. See you later. Right. Fine.
Hey, they don't pay overtime.
Fine. And Bellows was someone that was supposed to extend him. They made a point about getting him in because he had power of his own. He'd never been stopped before. He was like 42-5 or 42.
Yeah, he's had a bunch of fights.
Yeah, like he'd never been stopped before, and he just got rinsed.
Yeah, 26-3, but still, fucking a lot of fight. And because that's the thing, it's not like he's fighting schleps. Like his last few opponents, they're like durable sort of people, but he's just getting them out of there. So definitely keep the eyes on that one.
Imagine having that facing you, wearing pink everything. Like, what a fuck you. Like, nothing like pink is power, right? Do you remember when the Diplomats were all about pink for a bit? Shout out to Cameron. Shout out to Jules Santana.
When Cotto came out rocking that shit, and I was
Cotto
like, really?
loved a bit of electric pink, but that was like baby powder pink, and you're just like, I'm going to get punched clean in my face with powder pink grants, and it's not going to be fun. But he is definitely one to watch. Like, what you need to? Can they really up him that? I mean, it's only 15 fights, right? But he's kind of there.
Yeah, I mean, like, you got to put him in with someone. Otherwise, it's going to be a quick night at the office. You may as well just schedule him for a 2-rounder.
I mean, what do you do now? Do you go and find like a Durrell gatekeeper type fighter? Like one of those guys, maybe. Like
I'm there either way. Yeah, I'm down.
With him. With him, and also he's. I think he immediately jumped on a plane to Abu Dhabi. I think on his gram because it looked like he was in Abu Dhabi this morning
for the UFC or to watch that. Or
I have no idea.
Just out of there.
Yeah, he was just like walking around, and I was just like, all right, sick. 100% reached out to him. CCG, boom.
Yes.
They're in all of it. You got a CC. You got it.
Love it.
Just reaching out. Villas and Moraldes, right? 7 names between 2 men. I'm telling you, 7 names between 2 men, right? Villas had 4 names, and Moraldes had 3 of his own. I mean, that was a point. Like Villas didn't look like he belonged there, did he? Let's be honest. He had a top knot. He looked a little bit unsteady on his feet just walking around. It wasn't great.
Yeah. I mean, that short hook on the inside, the first time, I missed out. I'm like, what happened there? Because especially the way the camera was, I was like, what the fuck happened? And then on the replay, I'm like, yeah, he did actually crack him. And then...
he didn't like it, did he?
Yeah, then the body shot he wasn't a fan of either. And then it's just like, that's it.
Just wasn't for him, bless him. Wasn't for him. It was like 1 round blowout, done.
Done and dusted.
Done and dusted. And I would use this moment to say that we are going to be working with the London cryotherapy guys.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on a minute. I'm going to pause that. I might have to edit this a little bit because I've forgotten what they're called. It's just called London Cryo, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be working with London Cryo. And when you get knocked out and punched in the head like that, probably the best thing for recovery is standing in a tube at a minus 150 degrees for up to 3 minutes. Listen, you and I have both done cryo many times. Have you heard of someone named Floyd Mayweather?
I have.
Okay. Have you heard of
Cristiano? I think once or twice. I've
Yeah. Have you heard of Cristiano Ronaldo?
I think I might have heard of him too.
Have you heard of Saul Alvarez?
I think I know that guy.
Have you heard of any footballers? Because I think they do it too. As well as F1 drivers, right? Decent amounts. Like Callum Best I've seen lurking around there a good few times. I've seen Professor Green lurking around there a few times. I think close personal friend of yours. No worries about that. from up the road. A number of people are
Top
all
lad
about
is, top lad.
cryo, right? Listen, I think it's effective.
Yeah.
We're for full body cryo, we're gonna give you a C&Cc 25 code that will knock 25% off of the treatment. I would say give it a try. If you're all about that performance life, if you want your body to feel like it was about to die, and then for the rest of the day it feels sensational.
I'm so alive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like literally your whole body tingles with an air of arrogance that, like, I swear, that one. It's amazing, right? Yeah, London
And
cryo.
Maria's the best, the nicest people down there. It is sick.
They really are. But not only with the cryo, they've got the Novatech compression stuff. They've got infrared saunas. They've got like cryofacials. They've got IVs. Our code only works on the full body cryotherapy. FYI, don't get lemon with them. Yeah, but infrared saunas are 4Gs. Okay?
Yeah.
I like an infrared sauna quite a lot. It feels a little bit like being cooked in a microwave, but I'm about that. It's nice.
Fuck to the yes.
Yeah. London cryo. Boom. Anyway, main event, because we've got a lot to talk about with this, haven't we? We have. You and I, Wednesday night, maybe Thursday night, late one, we're going to do a new type of episode that will appear on the Patreon. And if it's gang shit, then we'll release it, because it's probably just a little taste, where you and I are actually going to watch the Loma Lopez fight, and we're going to go through it round by round. You know, you've probably got 45, 50 minutes to listen, whatever, right?
Yeah. Priorities, man.
Yes, I can see Loma losing. I can see 7-5. I can see an argument of 8-4 max. But I had it a draw.
Yeah.
I had it a draw, and I had, if I just roll back on my sheet, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for Lopez, because Loma, I don't know, how dare we judge the great one, but he didn't really do anything other than step, and like he looked like he was threatening to do bits.
Yeah.
But he whatever he did, he left it way too long, right?
Yeah.
6, 7, and 8, I quite clearly had to Loma. 9, for me, is the swing round. That was anyone's, right? And that probably is the difference between 6-6 or 7-5, right? 10 and 11, quite clearly Loma. That was Loma. That's what I expected from round 2, 3 onwards. And round 12, undeniably Lopez, right?
Yeah.
6-6, 7-5, 8-4 if you're really, really, really like a Lopez fan, right? Big Kev said Lopez. Big Kev had decent cash on Lopez. Shout out to Big Kev. Be like Big Kev, right?
Loving, yeah, man. And see, they're the ones where you're like, no, don't bandwagon jump and say I knew it all along. No, you didn't. Big Kev knew it all along. Yeah. You've watched the fight, know the result, and now saying, oh, I thought that's it. Yeah. No, steady on, son. I've got the polls. I know who said what when you're like before the fight. And listen, hand on heart, for the both of us, we said Loma. And one thing I like, so I'll be always the first to say this, I got entirely wrong, because I thought the only way Lopez would get it would be a knockout with a clean shot, because I just didn't think you're not going to outbox the greatest arguably to ever do it. I have to give Lopez mad respect for being so prepared for Loma. Mm-hmm. The subtle thing, like the angle change, you could tell he just knew it. Yeah. And he said in the post, it's just that you got to get to him first. So it's almost like when you said, like, when Loma was threatening, he would just do something to interrupt that rhythm. And you've already said it. I was going to say, look, who are we to judge? Like, tactically, they're off the charts. Like, you've never seen someone like that before. So I don't want to judge, but it does, looking at it, seem like it was a very slow start. I feel like maybe did get a bit caught off guard at how well Lopez adjusted. Like, I don't think that was because Loma always, the first round, he's just like, and I think they even said in the commentary, it's literally like computer, just putting it in. Exactly. And then,
the most noticeable for me was the, what would we call it? Should we call it the Loma shuffle? Like the immediate angle change, pivot again, right?
Yep.
They had drilled and drilled and drilled. All he does is circle to the right, close the laptop, job done. Motherfucker, right? They had drilled and drilled and drilled that, and he spun and threw something, right?
Yep.
Didn't matter if it landed or not, but it was enough to derail.
And he wasn't there.
On. And he wasn't there. I mean, to be fair, Loma barely got touched in that. Like, even in the exchanges, when they've done the slow-mo exchanges, there's a couple of them that look like they land, but Loma just kind of just gets an elbow up.
Oh, for sure. And it's a lot of like chest and like glancing. But then the flip side to that is like, he definitely landed cleaner, like the shot, because when you watch Loma in slow-mo, you're like, how fucking accurate are you? Like, it's literally everyone gets it, but it wasn't enough. Like, I can really and we're the biggest Loma fans you could ask for. I was like, I see it as a draw. Lopez.
Yeah.
It would have been, if it was Loma, that would have been a tough decision to see. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I see him on a draw, but on the losing end of a draw. Like, if it had have gone to him, but also to give completion, those scorecards were a joke. So I don't dispute the result.
Was Julie Letterman on the phone to the other geezer back in London?
Right? Are they just like Tindering fucking?
Have you seen her score sheet?
Yes.
It's like she gave round 10. That was it.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Also, I had this moment where round 11, I thought, oh my God, this is Loma's plan. Because when you see him not doing that much, you're like, okay, clearly Lopez has power. You're taking him into deep waters. You want to see relatively untested at that time. The time he has gone, it's deteriorated a bit. So this is all part of the plan. In the 11th, I was like, oh my God, he's going to do this. This is insane, because you need, but like Loma, I saw in an interview even say, I wanted to win all my fights by knockout. My dad said, that's not you. Yeah. Like, don't do that. And then now I'm in this position. It's a risky thing to give away a lot of rounds when you don't like Wilder. Until the last second, you can be like, you could be down and still turn this around. Yeah. And with Loma, I was just like, oh shit, this is getting risky, because it's not like he's just waiting. It's also like he's getting interrupted. And I mean, just massive hats at what, 23?
The composure that he showed was astonishing, right? Because there was times where you've seen Loma do Loma shit before, and he did it to Lopez as well, where there was split moments where you saw him be like, what the fuck was that? But instead of the Loma shit becoming Loma vibes, he was back on. Yeah. Probably helped that he looked like a light fucking middleweight compared to a light. He looked enormous.
Yeah, man.
He looked huge.
And what was going to say, it was on that as well. Like, he said it in the build up, that blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah. He was just like, you guys seem like a god. He's like, that's all right, I'll do it. And he did, in not a disrespectful way in the ring, he didn't show him respect. No. Do you know what I mean? It's like, he wasn't a dick about it, but he was there to win it. And I mean, really got to give him credit. That was a Loma, and don't be one of those guys, if you're listening and you're already doing that. That's why I'm rocking the shirt. Don't be like, oh, he was overrated and all that. Nah, come on.
No, definitely not. He is most illustrious amateur of all time.
For sure. And we are lucky to see those skills in a boxing ring. Don't forget that. Do you know what I mean? Like, he is a specimen. And a loss, he's a champ. He'll take it. He'll come back.
He's lost before.
Exactly. Don't talk shit. But don't take away from Lopez. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, both of those guys deserve massive amounts of respect. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Lopez, massive hats off. First ever, and I think only the fourth in the men's, fourth person ever to have all the belts.
Bernard Hopkins, Jermaine Taylor, Usyk.
Exactly.
Who's the other one? Oh, Lopez.
There was one more.
Did you see that the most hyper-nourished of gentlemen, Dan Raphael? Like, he is so fat. Like, I'm not even going to hate on him that much, but he is so fat. He has the neck beard, right? He's just...
to cover the jowls.
Like, how do you cover one of the most physically exertive sports on the planet and look like you have never, ever, ever seen a gym in your life. It's bizarre. But he was a complete and utter hater. And oh, look at me. I even said a T there. A complete and utter hater. And was like, this is not an undisputed belt because Loma's not the champion. He's the franchise champion. Devin Haney is the WBC champion. It's like, prick, why do you think he's the franchise champion? Because they move him up and give him an elevated status above champion. So he can do whatever he wants, and that puts him above that. So he doesn't have to do the mandatories.
Look, the way the franchise works is if he goes to the world champ and says, we're fighting, they're fucking fighting. If the world champ goes to the franchise champ and says, we're fighting, he's like, wait in line, motherfucker. That's how that works.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, bit rude. But yeah, taking nothing away from Lopez. Like, he smashed it, sure. Right? He's absolutely smashed it.
Yeah. And how dare I forgot Bud. So he's the 5th champ.
Oh, Bud. That's the one. Bud. Bud, interestingly, Andrade Ward had it a draw too.
Yeah.
Right? I tend to respect their opinion. Russ.
No, man, you got to go with the randoms on the internet that just like... I saw someone go in on... Coach Anthony. Shout out Coach Anthony. He was saying that it was a draw and people were tearing in saying, what fight were you watching? And it's like... What fucking fight were you watching?
Yeah. I think Russ also, I mean, obviously Russ is part of that camp, but, you know, I'd be really interested to speak to him in a couple of weeks about it. Like, if he wants to, he might. I mean, I think he's quite emotional about it.
Yeah.
As you know, I mean, and I've got a couple of T-shirts that are imprinting you with conspiracy, like Bohemian Grove, Bilderberg, etc., etc. It's not outside the realm of reason that Loma's probably said, Bob, Uncle Bob, not going to do too many more. And Bob goes, really? Okay. Manny's had this chat with me before as well.
I was going to say Manny. And Manny, literally...
Yeah, Manny meets Tim Bradley. Tim Bradley's foot's going to fall off and he's still going to win. And also...
Then you can meet Horn.
Yeah, you're gonna leave again, are you? Okay, well, yeah, have a meet. This is my pal Jeff. You're probably going to get along quite well, you. And respect to, I mean, like the Bradley trilogy probably wasn't necessary, but the 2 fights were Horn. Like the first fight, whatever. The second fight, like Manny, I think knew the score, and he just went, "I'm literally going to kill him." Yeah. Right. The only thing I can assume is that should Lopez give him a rematch, which he's looking pretty decidedly like, no, I saw something where he's like, they gave me a piece of paper that said, like, basically when you lose, this is what you're going to get for your next few fights. So I don't know if they gave him a ratchet style, like, we've given you this amount from our purse, which means that you're essentially going to be paid. I don't know that, but that's what he said in the interview. Like, they gave me pieces of paper saying, like, when you lose, you're going to be given, you know, this is what you're going to get for your next few fights. So I don't know if they tried to take like contractual dominion, but like you look at Aegis and you don't think that dude doesn't do proper business.
Yeah, for sure.
I've texted him about the idea that I had this weekend that I'm going to announce to you now, which is we're going to do masculine meditations, right? Imagine this. Let me sell this to you. Let me give you the pitch, right? Right? You're having that.
Does it have the serial sex offender guy?
No. It's going to be us doing it. It's going to be us doing it, right? But what we're going to do is you're going to get your ancestral didgeridoo. We're not going to do binaural beats where it's just going in the background. And what you're going to have me in the background is going to be like, you're laying on a bed. You're getting sucked off. Everyone likes getting sucked off. Blowjobs are great. They're relaxing. She's tickling the sack.
Don't give it away for free, man. We can sell this shit. No,
that's what I'm saying, right? And then we'll move into like accessories, which is crystals. My wife's just bought some from Sean Bean's daughter off of Facebook. Fact, right? And it's like what we can do, right? And it's just like, and she's just inserted this amethyst into her anus. It's warm. And your chakras are aligned. Like, I think we should do this, and I think Aegis is going to be part of it.
Go down.
That's what I'm going to... Patreon only, that one. Patreon.com/COFCONCuties. All the money goes to the Nigerian Boxers Project. Help them kids. Katharina Sanders, who's going to be released.
Bless her.
On
what a ledge.
Thursday. Yeah, she's immediately dived in with that. Probably the nicest person you can probably ever meet.
She was epic. And I've put her video up on the YouTube too. So when we release it, it's good to, well, it's on private now. So when we release it, then
Bosh.
Yeah, put the logo on and everything.
Yeah.
She was wicked.
Yeah, she was really nice. We need to announce the new glove winner, but I haven't looked through it yet because we had other things to do. It will be done this week. Shut up,
That's
all of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
you'll get it. You'll get it.
What I mean, you know what I mean? Like, come on. I will be fascinated to see if they have some sort of. There's no rematch clause. There's no anything, right? So what do you do? Like, if you're like Lopez, looks like he can go up to at least
the new division.
Yeah, at least 147. Yeah, at least 147. He looks like he can handle quite comfortably, right? He's a big boy. He looks like he would be comfortable.
There's some exciting fights to come, boy.
Well, he wants the unified winner of Taylor versus Ramirez, is what he's said that he wants, which is pretty size.
I want to see that.
That would make him like four belt, the champ. Big respect. I mean, Loma, what does he do? Does he go back down to 130?
I mean,
he's not big, right? He's not.
No.
He's not a big. He wasn't a particularly big 130er. He was about right, wasn't he?
Yeah. And he's, like, respect to him for going up. Do you know what I mean? He didn't need to do that, but
I mean, but that was like evident in the first few rounds, like you said, when he had that little the dip and the glitches, like he just anything, just throw something, and they weren't landing, they weren't effective, they weren't anything, but it stopped him. And that extra distance that the considerably bigger man had was enough to derail the plan. And when he turned it on, like Lopez was fucked. Like when Loma was Lomering, Lopez could do like very little. Like he would land one on the way back. I don't think I see him get caught with very much. A lot of it, all of the damage that he's got around here, it's all around the eyebrows. So it's all from blocking, right? Yeah. It's all from just the sheer impact coming in.
One thing that makes him a nightmare to fight, and I actually heard Teddy Atlas talking about this, because when they were talking about, when Canelo fought Mayweather, they were like, oh, Mayweather's hands so much quicker. It's like, it's not his hands, it's his feet. Yeah. Like Canelo's hands move fine, but his feet were no match for Mayweather's.
Yeah.
And what Lopez has, it's not just he's got power, he crosses range so really fucking explosive. Quickly. And when you're against a substantially bigger guy that crosses distance like a motherfucker and then can crack, that's a nightmare to fight.
I know. But that's what it boils down to. But I would very much so like to know what Julie Letterman was scoring, or what she had, what those other judges. I mean, what was the other judges? 117, 111, weren't it?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, that's really, really, really fucking wide.
Yeah.
Like, really wide. If it was 115, 113, no one's saying anything. Right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I think, to be fair, I think that's a fair call.
Yeah. You like
116, 116, 115, 113, around there.
Yeah. Loma left it too late. If he had that surge from 6, 7, and 8, if he did 5, 6, 7, and 8, we've got a very different story on our hands, right? And you don't know. I mean, respect to Lopez, that last round, he had it in his head that they had Loma scorecards ready for him.
Yeah.
Little did he know.
Because even his dad was like, you got this just, and he's like, I'm a fighter, man. Like, I'm not about that. I come to bring it. I was like, well done.
Well done. Like, like coming out 12th round and like that, he put it on him. And he closed out the show. Like, respect. Still say it's a draw. Again, 7-5 Lopez, fine. 8-4 if you're really, really pushing it. Really pushing it. But all respect to Vasily himself.
Oh, for sure. With
the exception of a draw, I can't like it, that's his limit, right? Is the draw.
Absolutely. And that was watching it live the first time, it was draw, and that's, I don't want to say emotional attachment, but seeing it the second time, I realized probably a bit of emotional attachment, because definitely the swing round, I was like, pretty much for sure. Like, it's Lopez's fight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it's Loma. He'll be back. He'll be bigger and better. You look how much, like, from Saucedo, the difference after that.
Yeah. Yeah. What was and obviously Russ is our close personal friend. What was weird was in the build up, seeing him, because I think I saw it a few times where he was just like, he was doing his gloves for him, and he was just like looking at him like he had a little bit of a look about it while he was doing the gloves. I've got a lot of questions for that man next time we have him about the hand wrapping thing, whether he'll talk to me or not. But like, do you see the video of him? Like, he was like smacking the granny out of Loma's hand. Like, he's like properly smacking the life out of it, like hard, and then giving it the rub down. Like, he's got a proper technique of something. Whether he wants to talk about it or not, that's his business. He can just say no, I won't, and we'll go, all right. Then it's like being told off by not a father figure, but a very senior member of the team, isn't it?
It is pretty much like a father figure. I'm not gonna lie. When he comes on, I'm like, Daddy.
Yeah, I want him to adopt me. Yeah. It's the way to do it, isn't it? It's just the way to go. Got a JT signed picture coming there, James Toney, when he's cracking up Iron Barkley. Got that on eBay, proper cheap. I've also got a signed Usyk, super cheap. I know, just digging out value on the signed pictures.
Get in.
I think Barry, aka Corona Man.
Is that a two-parter or?
No, it's a single because I've got children. You can't really be getting away with that. You get in trouble with child services. I think Bazza gets moved up where he belongs to the heavens, and I think Alexander goes here. But we'll deal with that when it turns up. And there's a BJ Penn one of them coming as well. Anywho, news.
Investment. It's investment.
Yeah, they're investments. They're investments. I've got the box and everything. You are an investment. Your mum's an investment. Okay, so news is actually heavily WBC on my part. I'm sure you've got other things to add. Number one, Russ said everyone wants belts. You do an amateur bout, they're like, you doing belts or trophies? And he's like, trophies, belts, whatever. Like, what does it matter? And he's like, well, we only do it for belts. WBC now does belts for the trainer. Now, they said, proud as a peacock, in their Instagram post, that we used the towel that trainers have as our inspiration. And you're like, right. And so what you've done, a big strip of leather with a big thing on it.
With the neck bit cut out. Did you notice that?
Yeah,
so like it like slides.
Now, what I really, really need to see now is the other governing bodies follow suit. That has to happen, right? That has to happen. And then I really need for them to walk out with it like they're El Champion instead of their steed. Because it needs to be more about them, doesn't it? What the fuck?
Mate.
Is it like? Do you reckon there's a fee for them as well?
I was going to say, are they charging them sanctioning fees? Or
there's got to be something for it, and they're not just giving them out for nothing, unless the belt is leather and theirs is like pleather. Like,
but it's like, okay, fair play. Trainers are massively important. That's what Trainer of the Year is for. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like there is a thing. Do we need champions?
I'm gonna say that, with the exception of Angel Garcia, right? He's the yin to that. Like, Danny won't talk shit, right? That's what Angel is for, right? He will do that. Mr. Garcia will do that for him, right? Fine.
Him and Guerrero's old man was just
that was amazing. It was amazing. Like, I would still watch that, right? But you don't need that as a trainer. You've made your choice. Right? If you've made the choice, you're not a director that's gonna get the leading actor. Fucking
look, it's
Oscar.
like if you're the dream of the trainer is the belts that the people bring in, because it's like, I find it weird when you go to a gym and the person teaching is talking about what they did. It's like, yeah, but it's not about you now, because that's what you did. That was your career, and it's great, your experience, but at the same time, what can you do for the people you're training?
Yeah.
Same thing as a trainer. It's like, if you make champions, essentially they're kind of your belts. You know, you bred them and things like that. You don't need your own. That's, you know, we're taking the piss a bit here. Come on.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like, I'm sure it's a very nice thing to do.
Yeah.
But are they going to keep doing this? How many trainers of WBC champions got on the phone to Jose and said, "Where the fuck's mine? Wait, all I got was a Moody t-shirt. You know, didn't even fit, you prick." Right? How many of them rung up? Also, WBC news, right? Because they are a cartel, basically, aren't they? It's essentially what they are. I haven't found anything since, but I saw something that said that White Povetkin 2, because Povetkin claims Russian, like Russia, you're not getting anything past the Russian. They said that they didn't know anything about a rematch clause. Sure, okay. The WBC has said because of like the murkiness of that contractual situation, here's what we're going to do to sort this out. Okay, here's what we're going to do, and I do something similar to this with the girls when they're freaking out and going loopy. Right, what I'll do is I'll say, right, neither one of you are going to have it. I'm going to take my wife out for dinner now. You guys sit here on your own. The cats will look after you. Right? So what they've done is that they've said to White and Povetkin, neither one of you are mandatory challenger anymore. What we've actually done is make...
Give it to Tay-Tay.
Yeah. Make Durante. He's now interim champ. So he's now Tay-Tay champ again. All good. What are you thinking? Like, what is that? What's the point?
Look, the only thing I can think is maybe with some of the murkiness with White that, you know, because there's still some tests that we don't have the final results on and things like that. So
allegedly, you can't be saying,
you know
what I mean? Can't be saying.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying, like, we don't know what the situation is. All we know is for a surprisingly long time, they're holding back. Maybe that whole thing is continuing and they're just, we're doing this way. The flip side is they fucking love Durante. They want some level of belt in his hands.
How epic is that Photoshop I had up? Fat Durante. Like, he's my, like, plus size Durante, hypernourished Tay-Tay is my new spirit animal. It used to be Fat Val Kilmer with a hat. Now it's Big Tay-Tay. It's amazing. It's the best. Right? Someone has sat there and crafted someone. Like, that's like a 280-pound version of the 205 man. It's amazing. Art. Pure art. Take that, Rishi, you prick. The other thing, again, WBC, as you know, we discussed this a couple of episodes ago, but they've actually done it, haven't they? A new division. Boom. Have that.
We needed it. We need more belts. I mean, the trainer belt wasn't enough. You know, what we need is some more fucking... Because what we really need is all the other divisions to jump on board and not just have this new weight division, but we need like a global, we need a pearl, an emerald, a diamond, you know, all this sort of shit. Yeah.
There's another one. I mean, the Stones aside and the 5th of May belt and all that stuff. There's another one that when I was looking up Chop Chop, when I was doing a little bit of deep dive on him, there's another one that he's won a few times. It's like the PXR feather something. Like there's it's not just like he's super lightweight. Yeah. It's just like he's the North American super light champion. Like they removed the weight part, and that's a new thing as well. It's a liberty, right? Yeah. But yeah, they have created a new division, which is a bit of a piss take because it moves Cruiser down and instills this new one at 225 as a limit, but moves Cruiser, which was historically 200, down 10 pounds. Right, £10 is a lot.
Yeah.
Right, that's a lot of weight. That's nearly a stone. Where the guy, I mean, if say you're cruiserweight champ, what are you now? You still cruiserweight champ, or do you now have to just shed £10 to keep your belt?
That reminds me, you know that movie about the whole McDonald's thing? How he's like, all right, if I can't have the name, I'm going to have the fucking land underneath your thing. Oh, and now I own you, bitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's like, we're taking your shit and, you know, now you got to lose £10 if you want it back. What the fuck? Also, the name of it
Have they said the name? Is it still not done?
To be announced, which is worrying, which means you're not just calling it like Super Cruiser probably. It means they're putting some level of thought process into this, which, as you said rightly, they fucked up with light heavy, didn't they?
They fucked up big on that one. But they can do super light heavy. Right? They can do super light heavy. They can do
extra large heavy.
Yeah. They can do yeah. XL cruise. It's gonna have to be Super Cruiser, isn't it?
I mean, I would imagine so.
It's gonna have to be Super Cruiser. What else?
You can't go, okay, we got heavyweight. What should the division under that be? Light heavy? No, fuck. Let's make it cruise. Like,
wait, you know what is an ish? WBC doesn't have super lightweight, does it? It has light welterweight, or does it have?
Wait.
Because super middle is unanimous, right?
Yep.
And I think that's the only one. So you either have super welterweight,
yeah,
and super lightweight as welter and light welter, right? But that's not WBC. I think WBC is light middle, and I think they're junior welter.
Right.
I don't think.
Yeah, I can't remember which organization uses which one.
Yeah, I don't think WBC is them. So I don't think now they can start whipping out usages of super. So that I want to know what this is called. This is big, isn't it? But like you said, Durante was knocking massive heavyweights out cold. Like he would run that 225 comfortably.
That's the thing, like he lands on someone, fucking hell. Like if you're knocking out huge guys, with that, you take all that weight off, but at the same time, add the speed to the people. Can he land it? You know, it makes it interesting. But it's like we said off air, like MMA could do with some more weight divisions, right? They're big gaps. But I mean, obviously as you go up, it is harder, but
it would have made more sense, in my opinion, for them to do a super heavyweight. Like Olympic style, like a bigger heavyweight division above it, not something in between cruiser and heavyweight, right? That makes more sense to me because like now you have 190, which is 5 pounds above light heavy now, right? Yeah. And then you've got from 190 to 225, and then from 225 and above, but just one of the governing bodies. So the others haven't said that they're doing it, which of course they will, because if there's anyone,
more money.
It's more money, yeah. Like I understand, like the opportunity for someone like an Usyk, who would be considered to be one of the smaller heavies, to be 3-weight world champ now.
Yes,
it's there, and like we said, Durante would thrive in a smaller heavyweight division where, you know, and then you've got a bunch of like the Ukrainian, Eastern Europeans, like Berbiev. It's 5 pound more for him. I'm sure he'd love not to lose 5 pound more and be even more of a shredded fucking werewolf and pick up another set of straps.
Yeah. But then it's like, let's say the other organizations don't. How do you be undisputed? You got to keep fucking shedding and putting on weight, all that sort of shit for a start. Then when you're trying to compare across generations, well, now you're comparing people that don't even fucking weigh the same.
Yeah. I mean, like Bellew was a part of this, wasn't he?
I think he's the main driving force on it.
I mean, it makes sense because he was in between.
Well, he's the guy that would, like, it would have suited him. So I'm sure that's where, mentality-wise, that's where he's coming from, to go up rather than going up that much, being like, oh, there's this thing in the middle.
I just wonder why they had to move £10 down. Because, like, the easiest thing in the world for me would to be leave Cruiser at 200 and then do this next one.
And then have a cut-off.
At 225. Right, and everything above 225 is heavyweight. It's like the UFC. Anything above 205 is a heavyweight. Everything below 265 is a heavyweight. Anything above 265, you got to get down to below it.
That's it.
Right? It's weird. It's weird. And the other thing, All Access, Tank, and Santa Cruz, episode 1 is out now. It's got
it's out now, is it?
Yeah, it's out now. It's got the most adverts of a YouTuber of all time. Every 45 seconds, it's got an advert on it, which I'm telling you, Showtime is trying to get that cash. And
see, I'm living that premium life, son.
Floyd's hamming it up a little bit, to be honest. It's
right.
You know, All Access is always the Floyd show, isn't it? Especially when he's a part of it, and you know, Tank doesn't really say anything. I wouldn't really want Tank angry at me, you know. He's quite a scary young man, isn't he?
Mate, he has some fucking bang.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tank Lopez?
Yeah, but I'm not like you know, Lopez would bash the fuck out of me, but like I'm not scared of him to look at him.
Yeah.
Tank is just like if he was a vampire, I wouldn't be shocked. Would you be shocked if he just popped out a couple of fangs? You're like, oh yeah, well, it makes sense.
Mate, the only thing that will help with that is someone did the best meme where, remember when he puffed up? He hadn't fought for a while and he proper went like Broner. Yep. And they're like, he looks like everybody's grandma when they're pissed off when they take their weave out. And I was just like, oh shit. And the picture they put right next to it, I was like, oh, you've nailed that actually.
Yeah, he has. Oh, now, who's scarier though than Tank? Like pound for pound, just to visibly see him, I think Tank's got to be the scariest man out there.
Oh, mate, Beterbiev, I wouldn't want him fucking like...
Yeah, Beterbiev. Yeah, but Beterbiev has got kind of like that human sex trafficker vibe. It's a very different vibe. Right, he's got like the Ed Hardy t-shirt, the Lucky 7 jeans vibe. He's got the Winkle Pickers and a hookah. He's got that kind of vibe. It's a very different... It's different. I'm not sure, you know. I think Tank might be for me, he's the scariest person out there. Scary. Anyway, I think that's it. How much money are you willing to put into the meditations? 10, 15? What are we saying?
Mills? Yeah.
No, done. Come on now. What do we need? We just do it on voice notes to start out. We're going to start out small. We can do an add-on for a daily affirmation.
Mate, we need to buy the crystals that people are going to be putting in their asses and shit. Come on, this ain't cheap.
I was thinking we'd just go down like the garden centre and just start polishing. Go and get a few paving stones, or the G move. We go down kitchen shops with a hammer, start smacking out little bits of the counters, polish them up. Lovely that.
I mean,
yeah. We're also going to start doing business entrepreneurship courses. I've rented out a local town hall, and yeah, we'll do it that way. COVID is, as we know, a myth, and bothered. We can all get together. If you want, you can just do every other seat like you're back in school again. Yeah, done. Straight.
Love it.
See you soon.
See you, mate.